Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if it's your first time here. So we are doing another tarot reading, and as always, I'm just going to be pulling cards and seeing what comes through here. I don't really know what messages are going to come through, so it's not like, I asked the question and then pull cards. I'm literally just, going based off of whatever the cards want you to know. So let's go ahead and get into this. Oh, and also I wanted to remind you that I'm going to be doing a financial astrology series soon. So within the next couple of days, I'm probably going to upload the video for that. So yeah, if you've been wanting to learn more about how to make money using your birth chart, then be on the lookout for that series because it is coming within the next few days. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So the first card that I pulled is the Two of Wands. So what I'm getting from this card is that in the past, you could have had an experience where you had a shift in the way that you see life or the way that you see yourself. There's something here about you living life a certain way for a really long time. And then it's like you have an experience that just kind of expands your worldview. So, for example, let's say that for your whole life, you have been thinking that you have to work a 9 to 5 in order to make money, and you have to do like really difficult, hard work in order to make money. Like you had that perspective when it came to, how to survive in terms of your finances. But then let's say that you get on the internet and you start seeing people who are making money online and people who are making money in a very creative way, doing things that they love. And it's like it expands your worldview so much. You're like, man, maybe I should try to do that. So that's the energy that I'm getting. I'm not saying that's the exact scenario here. That just came through as an example. Or maybe that is the exact scenario for you. But overall, I'm just seeing like your mindset or your worldview being expanded. And I really do think that it's because of the internet. Like I just keep hearing internet. So maybe it is very specific in terms of you seeing something on the internet or seeing a certain way of being that just completely made you think of things differently. Outside of money though, I'm also hearing love. So for some of you, maybe it wasn't your finances, or maybe it wasn't a shift in the way you see things financially. Maybe it was a shift in relationships, like maybe you came across something that made you realize that you've been, participating in relationships in a way that is unhealthy. And maybe you're like, okay, I want to heal myself. I don't want to be in these toxic connections before. Like maybe you didn't even realize that the relationships that you were in were necessarily toxic because they were so normal. Like it was normalized for, that type of chaos and dysfunction to be in relationships. So you didn't even realize that there's another way, there's another side of life where people are genuinely happy in love and they're safe in love and they are healthy in love. And so maybe you got online and you saw that. Maybe you got online and was reading some psychology articles and, you found out what your attachment style is. It's just so many ways that this could go where you had one way of thinking and then it shifted and it's like it broadened your horizons. But I think what I'm getting though is that even though you had this shift in mindset because you could see what was possible, I think that what the issue was is that even though you saw what was possible, it became hard to actually shift your behavior. So I'm getting like you see, okay, there's a different way of doing things. Like there's a different way that I can be. I want to be better. I want to evolve. But just wanting to is very different than actually taking the steps towards it because it's actually really difficult. If you've been in a specific pattern your whole life and it's been normal your whole life, it's like you've been doing this for years and then your family has been doing this for years and then your community that you live in, the culture, the society that you're in has been doing this for years. It's really hard to be the person that is like, okay, I'm going to deviate away from this and I'm going to try something new. If you live in a community that all they know is, to work a 9 to 5 and to work really hard, and to work at a job that, they don't enjoy, it's not easy to be the person to say, you know what, I'm not taking that route and I'm going to try to, create income in a way that I actually enjoy and in a way that doesn't burn me out. It's not easy to do that. That's basically you being a trailblazer. Same thing with relationships. If it's been normalized in your family to just endure the toxicity of a relationship and to never, strive to do better and to never leave and try to do better, then it's not easy to be the one that to say, hey, I learned about my attachment styles and my attachment style and I'm healing it and I want to have healthy love. Like that's not it's not something that's easy whatsoever. So you're definitely a trailblazer, it seems. And that's quite the difficult path to walk. So I'm seeing that you're needing to give yourself a lot of grace because yes, you definitely have educated yourself a lot, and yes, you definitely have changed your mindset a lot when it comes to this new way that you're trying to be, or this new way of living and this healing road that you're trying to walk. Yes, you've changed your mindset about it, but give yourself grace when it comes to actually making the changes in your life, because you're going to slip up sometimes. You're going to feel like you're falling backwards. You're going to feel like, man, I have to start over again and I messed up and I know better, so why am I not doing better? It's like you need to give yourself a lot of grace because, again, you are the first. You are the trailblazer. So you don't have the blueprint for this. And you may not even have the support for this because everyone else around you is just not walking the path that you're walking. So you really are doing it solo, and you're needing to acknowledge that and give yourself a lot of grace for it. I am also seeing here that it could be in your best interest to develop a stronger bond with whatever higher power you believe in. Whether you believe in God, the universe, source, whatever you call this higher power, it may be very beneficial for you to invest in this relationship with this higher power because it will help you on your path, especially because of the fact that you experience so much loneliness due to you being the first. It's like you're needing some type of support. And I think that having that higher power to lean on could be very beneficial for you. So taking time to connect with this higher power, however that may look for you. I know for me, even though I don't identify as a Christian and I don't agree with all aspects of Christianity, I still, read the Bible and I still pull verses from the Bible whenever I need comfort and whenever I am just feeling like I need some type of like guidance or higher wisdom. I just really enjoy reading spiritual text. And so the Bible is one that I pull from often. And again, I don't identify as a Christian. Obviously, I still read tarot, and Christians don't agree with tarot. So, clearly I'm not a Christian, but still just reading that spiritual text helps me to get closer to God. And it definitely brings me a lot of comfort when I'm feeling alone on this journey. So, yeah, that's something that I am seeing for you. Also, I am seeing here too that you're needing to be more selective. This might be a random message, but you're needing to be more selective with the people that you spend time with because they can actually interfere in this journey that you're walking. Even if they're not doing anything directly to interfere in it, just their mindset and their way of doing things can interfere. Like, for example, if you are somebody who, let's just stick with the whole finance scenario that we talked about. If you're someone who's trying to be a trailblazer in terms of like being the first entrepreneur in your family or the first person who, makes money doing what you love, if you're trying to walk that path, right, and you're around people who have like more of a fearful or scarcity mindset, that they're always like talking about they're always like speaking about money in terms of scarcity. Like they're always talking about how difficult it is to make money and things like that. And I'm trying to be mindful about what I say because I know that in this economy, it's not anybody's fault that they are frustrated about finances and that they're complaining about finances because I mean, look at the way the economy is right now. You know what I mean? Like people are, it's justified that they are extremely frustrated and they want to, talk about it and complain. I don't ever expect people who are literally struggling to eat that they should just sit around and talk positively about money all the time. But you still have to be mindful of the fact that if you're trying to really like move away from a certain way of thinking and being when it comes to your finances, then it's just certain language and things of that sort that you have to be mindful of consuming. And again, that's not to judge the people who may be complaining about it or who may be speaking in terms of scarcity. It's not to judge them at all because again, this is the system that we're living in is set up for people to struggle financially, and it's definitely not fair. So I'm not saying like, oh, it's their fault because they're not being positive. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that it can take a toll on you. That's kind of like if you're around people who maybe they never chased their dreams because of fear. Like, let's say that they were very fearful of failure, so they never chased their dreams. If you're trying to chase your dreams and you're around these people, they may start to project their fear onto you and like say certain things to implant fear in you. And it's not that they're doing it intentionally. It's just the way that their mind works. You see what I'm saying? If you say something like, yeah, I want to move to LA and become like an actress, they might start running off a list of all the reasons why you should be fearful of that. And it could be because of the fact that they're trying to look out for you, of course, but a large part of it is because their fears have blocked them so much that that's just the way that their mindset is made up, and it's the way their mind works. So they're not trying to always intentionally implant fear in you, but if you're around them, then that's ultimately what's going to happen. So just be mindful of that. I hope that that makes sense. Be mindful of the spaces that you're in, the people that you're around, and that even goes for the things that you consume online, and the type of comments that you read online, and things of that sort. Just be very, very mindful. And again, it's not coming in from like a snobbish place or looking down on people and being like, "Ugh, I can't be around you anymore. I need to make me some rich friends." And like, no, I'm not saying that at all. But I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. When you're trying to change your life, a large part of it has to do with mindset. And because of that, yeah, you have to be mindful of what you're consuming and the type of people that you're around. So the next card that I pulled is the Queen of Wands card. So with the Queen of Wands being here, this is you in the present. So I'm seeing here that you are building much more confidence. Like, I'm seeing a shift from the last card that I pulled. So the last card was like you were kind of in the beginning stages. Like, you were, hold on one second, I just lost the message. I hate when that happens. Okay, yeah, you had your mind expanded through something that you saw, right? And then you started trying to do the work to heal and change. And so now it looks like you're a bit further into this journey, and so you are feeling a bit more confident. You know what I mean? Maybe it went from you learned about attachment styles and it's like new information to you, your mind is blown, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I have to start on this healing journey." And it's like now you are much more aware. So maybe it's that last card was you finding out about certain things that made you shift your mindset, and now in the present moment you now have experience with the information that you gained. So let's just keep using the attachment style example. Let's say that you learned about attachment styles and you learned what your attachment style is, and you learned that you need to heal it in order for you to have healthy relationships, right? And so that sounds good in theory, but then it's like after you learned about attachment styles, maybe you got into a relationship or you started dating someone, and that's when you really got to observe what your attachment style is. So it's something here about like you gaining the knowledge and then you having some sort of experience so that you got to see the knowledge firsthand. And I think that's why something came through about you needing to give yourself grace, because I think that you thought that once you got the knowledge, then you would be able to just show up in a whole different light. And that's not the case. Like, just because you know that you have an anxious attachment style, it doesn't mean now you're going to get into a relationship and that anxious attachment style is never going to show up now because you're just so aware. No, it's still going to show up. And the thing about it is that it's going to show up and you might start judging yourself like, wait a minute, I know exactly about this attachment style and I know exactly the symptoms of it and what I should and shouldn't be doing. So why am I still doing it in this relationship? And again, that's because just because you get the knowledge of it, it doesn't mean things automatically change. So I think that you obtain some sort of knowledge or wisdom, and then it got to be put to the test, like in action. And you need to give yourself grace because that's the way it's supposed to go, is what I'm hearing. Like, you have to have these things put into action in order for you to see it firsthand and not just read it like within a textbook. You have to be able to observe it firsthand. And so in your mind, you're like, well, I knew about this. Why am I not doing better? And you are doing better. You definitely are doing better. You just can't see it because you think that just because you obtain knowledge that automatically your behavior is just supposed to shift automatically. And no, that's not the case. And that's why you're needing to continue to give yourself grace. But I feel like you are learning and you are evolving more than you think that you are. And sometimes you're going to slip backwards and you can't let that shake your confidence, because whenever you slip backwards, which really you're not really slipping backwards. Like there's no such thing as really going backwards. You're just continuing to move forward, and you're just having experiences that are revealing more and more to you that you need to learn or that you need to work on. But yeah, I just feel like don't allow it to shake your confidence. Like if you do feel like you're slipping up or you're slipping backwards, or you're like, oh, I should know better, why am I not doing better? You're doing just fine. You're doing just fine. The fact that you're even acknowledging that you're needing to do better, that in itself is light years ahead of most people. Like you have the awareness, and that puts you light years ahead of most people. So don't be too hard on yourself. And again, I just feel like there's a need for you to take a little more pride in the path that you're walking, and more pride in yourself instead of judging yourself so harshly. Take pride in the fact that you're even on this journey in the first place, and that you are this trailblazer that is, probably the first in your family to be walking whatever path this is. So yeah, don't beat yourself up too much over it, is what I'm seeing. I'm also hearing, okay, this is such a random message. I don't know what this has to do with anything, but this cat in the card is really standing out to me. Is somebody getting a cat? Maybe. What does that have to do with anything? I have no clue. Maybe it'll come, maybe it'll come to me later. I don't know. There's a cat that's just, it's standing out to me for some reason. Yeah, the message is not coming through. I don't know. Sometimes those random messages come through though, just so that the person listening can just so the person listening can know that the reading is for them. So maybe you've been thinking about getting a cat, and then you hear this and you're like, oh my God, confirmation that this reading is for me. I don't know. It's just randomly coming through. Maybe it means something symbolically, but the message is not coming through to me intuitively. All right, let's move on. Maybe it'll come to me later. So, also what I'm hearing too is that just be mindful that when you are walking this path, because you are, a trailblazer, and you are the first to be walking this path, some people might start to feel kind of intimidated by you. It's just the energy that you're giving off when you are walking a different path than most people are, and you're walking a different path than what most people around you are walking. It gives off this very powerful energy, and I don't think that you're realizing it, because you think that you're constantly messing up, or in your mind you're like constantly judging yourself, like, why am I not doing better? It's just the curse of self-awareness, you know what I mean? Like when you're someone who's very self-aware, it's you constantly asking yourself, why am I not doing better? Why am I not doing better? But we already talked about how you're needing to give yourself more grace. So you might be thinking that you're not doing that well, but you don't understand the energy, the powerful energy that you're giving off, because the fact that you're even still walking this path, and you're choosing not to give up and not to just settle, it lets off a very powerful energy. And even if you're not walking around bragging about this path that you're walking, people can feel it, and they feel intimidated by it. And I think it kind of wakes up this part of them where they would like to also walk this path, but they're very fearful of doing so. And this is all happening on an energetic level. And they could be very fearful of doing so, and therefore they could start to act really weird towards you. Like, and weird could mean really different things. Like some of them might actually be mean to you. Yeah, I feel like some could be extremely start to be mean to you, or start to be passive aggressive towards you. Or the opposite end of it is that you might get people who just all of a sudden really want to be close to you. Like it's almost like it feels like they're desperate to be in your life, or desperate to be close to you. Yeah, it's like you're shaking up some type of like energy within people that's making them respond to you in a strange way, because of the fact that you're walking this path. Even if you don't broadcast it, energetically they can feel it. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And that may be why maybe that's why you're getting a cat. Maybe you're maybe you're tired of people, and you're like, I need a cat so I can just stay away from folks, because people are acting weird towards me lately. And yeah, that's because of the energy that you're carrying. So now we move on to the Judgment card. So with the Judgment card being here, okay, you're going to start to see that this path that you're walking, this is a higher calling. Like, I feel like you could know this already, Like you can have an inkling of this, but I don't think that you really understand like that this is your calling. Like this is something that it was meant for you to do. And I feel like that's why, again, there's that message that came through about you needing to get closer to this higher power. I feel like the closer you get to this higher power, whatever you believe in, God, source, the divine, the universe. We don't discriminate here, but whatever you believe in, it's like getting closer to this higher power is going to reveal more and more of who you are and what you're meant to be doing. I really think that you know this, but you only know, it's like you only know the tip of the iceberg is what I'm hearing. Like you might be thinking, oh yeah, I'm just someone who, I'm here to break generational curses. I'm someone who I'm meant to be the first person to graduate in my family from college, or I'm meant to be the first person who does this in my family. Like you have an inkling of it in that sense, but I don't think you understand how deep it goes and how serious this mission actually is. And how much you need protection. And I hesitated to say that for a second because I don't want you to feel fearful. Like I don't want you to feel like I'm saying, oh, you need to be protected. It's this path that you're walking. It's so dangerous and you need to watch your back at all times, because that's just anxiety inducing. But I think that if you understood the weight of this mission that you're on, or this life purpose, or this path that you're walking, you would be more selective with the people who you let into your life, and you would be more, what I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain it. It's like you would call on this higher power much more. You would, because I don't think that you fully understand the energetic or spiritual warfare that goes on behind. Oh my gosh, I really don't want to have any, like, I don't want anybody to be fearful. I feel like this this sounds like I'm saying, oh, there's spirits attacking you because of this mission that you're on. I'm not saying that, but I don't know how to convey this message without like sounding like I'm implanting fear or anxiety. You're just, how do I say this? This path that you are walking, it not only liberates you, it liberates so many other people. And it's an extremely important path that you're walking. So you have to be mindful of the people that you keep around you. Like you're needing to treat this path as if it's sacred. Like you're needing to treat this path as if like this is a sacred mission that you are on. And to be mindful to not allow like certain people into your life who will try to knock you off of this path, who will cause you to deviate off of this path. It's like needing to be mindful, because there's people who will come into your life with the intention of doing so. Even if they don't know why they're doing it, it's like energetically or spiritually, they're trying to knock you off of your path. And that's the best way I can explain it without getting into like how, people let certain energies use them to, I don't want to get too much into it because again, I don't want to make it sound scary or like, anything that you need to be scared of, because you definitely don't need to be afraid. You just need to be closer to this higher power and have a relationship with this higher power so that, you can call on this higher power for protection, and it'll strengthen your intuition. It'll strengthen your discernment. But yeah, I just feel like just getting very serious about what this path entails, whatever this path is. If you feel like you're breaking generational curses surrounding finances, if you're breaking generational curses surrounding love and relationships, like this is serious business. Like this is, it's much more serious than you. I know it's serious, but it's just like you're going to be benefiting so many people, and I don't think you understand the gravity of it. Like for now, it just looks like, oh, I'm just trying to start my business, just trying to make it as an entrepreneur. And I don't think that you understand that on this path that you're walking, you're going to be influencing so many people. Even if and I'm not even saying like that you're going to be an influencer, you're going to be famous or anything like that. Even just the people that you meet on your day-to-day, in your day-to-day life, like as you're walking this path, you're like shifting their mindset and you're helping them in some way. It's very hard to explain, but I'm hoping that you get the gist of what I'm saying. So just be very mindful of that and understand that the path that you're walking is very important. And I'm not saying that in a way of like, like a God complex, like we're the chosen people and, everyone else is just like an NPC, and we're God's chosen. We're here for this special path, and everybody else is just there. Like, that's not what I'm saying. And people, I've seen people online, like when you say, oh, I have a certain purpose, I have a higher calling. I've seen people say stuff like, oh my God, that's a God complex, like you think you're so special. No, those of us who feel like we have been chosen for these certain missions, we know firsthand that it's not something to have a God complex about, because we go through so many hardships beforehand. Like, why on earth would we feel like, oh yeah, we're chosen and we're better than everyone? No, this is a very, very difficult path. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have to give that disclaimer, because I feel like whenever I start talking about purpose and missions and things like that, like there's people who will be like, oh, that's a God complex, that's narcissistic, you're not chosen. But they don't understand what I mean when I say chosen. I'm not talking about chosen in the I'm better than you and I'm more enlightened than you egotistical sense. I'm talking about, like, you're on a specific path. Like, you have a specific mission, and you usually are a trailblazer of some sort, and it's not an easy one. So it's not even something to get in your ego about, because it's like the hardships that we've had to face in life, even to just acquire the wisdom and the experience and the things that we need to fulfill this mission. It's very, very difficult. It comes with a lot of hardship, a lot of pain, a lot of isolation. It comes with a lot of that. So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. Not to y'all. I feel like for like my people, my subscribers, like, I don't have to make that clear to y'all. Y'all understand me, but it's unfortunately there are people who watch these videos that, it goes outside of your circle sometimes, and then that's the type of comments that they make. But yeah, ultimately that's what I'm seeing for you, and I do feel like, with the judgment card being here too, that you are going to be rewarded in some way. Everything that you have been going through, it's like it's about to flip, and you're about to experience the opposite. So it's like, if you've been experiencing a lot of hardships and it feels like an uphill battle, in the near future, I feel like things are going to be taking a turn where all of this positive karma is going to be coming back around to you. And I'm hearing covered in favor. So it's like, you're going to start feeling very lucky. It's like good things are going to start coming to you. It's like the direct opposite of what you have been experiencing. So if you've been experiencing a lot of issues with finances, all of a sudden there's going to be an abundance of finances coming in. If you've been experiencing like relationships with people who treat you badly, suddenly you're going to be attracting relationships with people who really love you and respect you and treat you well. So yeah, it's like you're going to be experiencing the direct opposite. So I'm going to stop there. I didn't realize that this reading was so long. Thank you guys for listening. We're going to extend this on Patreon. So we're going to get into more messages about this, most likely is judgment card, especially the part where we're talking about, things about to turn around for you and you about to experience the opposite. I feel like I want to get more messages on that. And in general, I'm just going to pull some more cards and see what comes through. So if this resonated with you, I will leave the link to the extended video in the description box. Also, my readings are open. They won't be open for too much longer, because again, I have like a whole financial astrology series that I'm starting. So that's going to take a lot of work and energy. So I'm going to close my readings for a little bit. And also I am returning to my psychology channel as well, which is going to take, a lot of time and energy. So yeah, if you want a personal reading, make sure you take advantage of them being open. And yeah, like I said, I will be extending these messages. So if you would like more in-depth messages about this reading, then I will see you over in the extended.